adore you. We give you thanks.
God, our sustainer, you give us strength, you keep us safe, you help us live.
God, our defender, you are good, you are merciful, you are mighty.
God, we proclaim your goodness, and yet we hear these headlines day after day.
Stray bullet hits, kills sleeping 9-year-old girl.
While suicide rates continue to rise, the open conversation about mental illness continues in schools and communities.
Woman arrested for beating a 92-year-old man with a brick, telling him go back to Mexico.
Deadly wildfire near Yosemite National Park almost doubles in size to 9,300 acres. 7-year-old girl killed trying to get help after dad crashed his car.
FEMA rejected thousands of appeals for housing aid in Puerto Rico because people can't prove they own their homes.
While relationships with Russia and North Korea become stronger, our nation remains divided over our next action.
Drought taking hold locally.
God, there is pain in our lives and in the lives of our neighbors, so we long for your mercy.
Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Merciful God, in your gracious presence, we confess our sin and the sin of this world. Although Christ is among us as our peace, we are a people divided against ourselves as we cling to the values of a broken world. We are afraid, so we seek you. Have mercy on us, your children.
Pursue, lay waste the land, and pollute the seas. The fears and jealousies that we harbor set neighbor against neighbor, and nation against nation. We are afraid, so we seek you. Have mercy on us, your children.
Of intellect and reason, and turn them into bonds of oppression.
Lord, have mercy upon us. Heal and forgive us. Set us free to serve you in the world as agents of your reconciling love. In Jesus Christ.
Summoned you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze, for I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. Let us rest in the comfort of our God's unfailing promises, for God's love is greater than our fears. Let's sing together. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger. My love is stronger than your fear. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger than I have promised to be always near. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger. My love is stronger than your fears. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger than I have promised to be always near. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger. My love is stronger than your fears. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger than I have promised to be always near. Do not fret because of the wicked. Do not be envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so you will live in the land and enjoy security. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. He will make your vindication shine like the light, and the justice of your cause like the noonday. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret over those who prosper in their way, or over those who carry out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret. It leads only to evil. The meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant prosperity. Do not worry about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise,
Think about these things.
Keep on doing the things that you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, and the God of peace will be with you.
Delighted to be here on behalf of the Word Theological Seminary, the faculty here, and it's a delight indeed to be able to bring a word from the Lord this morning from the 37th Psalm. Those words almost flow over you like a salve, an ointment, soothing elixir. Fret not because of the evildoers. Don't be envious of workers of iniquity. They'll be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. But he hands you an alternative for vexing days. It's a series of mandates. Trust in the Lord. Do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness. What if, I feel a bit like a lion in the den of Daniels here. I don't know. I'm sure many of you write lyrics, music, you compose, you arrange. What if you did that and you were working for a psychopath? I don't want any testimonies of that. And your wife ridiculed your style of worship leadership. Your son rebelled and wanted to get your job. Your closest associate turned against you like a Benedict Arnold or a Quisling. And inside your own family, Some unspeakable compromises took place. Then you discover plots going on you never knew about. And when you were weary with all of that, all of a sudden, there appeared 4 giant guys, huge thugs. Every one of them after you. Well, that's what happened to David. This is called the Psalm of David. Don't know. It sounds more like something that belongs in the book of Proverbs. We know from verse 25 it was written by some old wise sage, because he said, I've been young and now I'm old, and he's watched what happens in life. It's really part of a curriculum. It's an acrostic, one of those psalms that's like A, B, C as a mnemonic device. This wise old man, maybe David, maybe someone else looking back on life, has composed this. It's not so much for worship service, it's addressed to an individual, an unusual song in that regard, about being vexed. The word fret is an older word. Behind it is the Hebrew idea of burning with anger, something combustible inside of you that really can't find any way to get out. In fact, the very word jealousy suggests someone who is so inflamed by the injustices that they see or hear that their face turns red, a psychosomatic response. Almost sounds like people who listen to MSNBC, Fox, or CNN. Or if they don't get enough there, they open their Facebook and get into arguments with people they don't know on the other side of the world. You know, it used to be, I thought all of the screaming and interrupting took place on cable news. And then this Sunday morning on Meet the Press, and I recorded it, I'm a good Baptist. Even the sedate and noted worthies around that table were screaming at one another. When they're screaming on Meet the Press, it's a tough time. This really is not a theological word about good and evil. You need to turn to the book of Job to think about this. This is just practical, almost threadbare in its plainness. It consists of some mandates, some commands, some imperatives, followed by the reason or the response. Fret not, literally don't get burned up because of scheming, evil people. And don't be jealous or envious of them. And then he gives the reason. It's commonplace, it's a biblical metaphor, because they will be cut down like the grass. Here he's not striving for originality, he's striving for what every Hebrew in the desert knew. And that is, there was the promise of emerald green, verdant grass with dew on it in the spring. And then when a blast of heat came like Waco today, then he invents a more beautiful metaphor. He said, will wither like the green herb. Sometimes there's a strange synchronicity about what you're thinking about preaching. Walked outside my kitchen. I planted an herb garden in the spring. There were 10 different ones: lavender, oregano, thyme, cilantro. Of them, half of them now are gone. They were spring herbs, so full of promise, now withered. That's the word here. Psalmist has observed something, and that is those practicing, scheming humans of evil, someday they're gone. I was in the pastorate a number of years, had different questions at funeral services. One time, when a rather affluent man had died, someone had the effrontery to lean over to me and say, I wonder how much he left. I do have an answer for that. All of it. You don't have to think of some dramatic scene. They shall be cut down like Ceausescu falling in Romania, or statues of Saddam being pulled over while people throw shoes at them. This psalmist says, in the nature of things, the sleek, scheming somebodies don't live forever. They go. But that's not enough. If you tell people don't be vexed, you know what happens. It's like shining one mirror into the other. You just get vexed about being vexed. So good Christian people shouldn't feel this way. Then you get worried about what kind of Christian you are because you focus on fretting. Psalmist doesn't do that. He gives you a series of imperatives that in a sense move your vision. Trust in the Lord. Not focus on Facebook and the next argument and the toxic words from anonymous people, but roll over on the Lord. He's able to sustain the weight of it. Now that's commonplace, but that's what he's trying to do. Now the next thing might surprise you. He says, do good. I'll give you a simple suggestion. It says Jesus, Nazareth, man of God, what about doing good? If you're vexed today, let me give you a highly theological solution. When you get your car washed over here on Beverly Mills, give the man in the 106-degree heat an extra $5. The boy who's sacking up groceries and offers to carry them out when you know you can carry them out, take them. And you say, that is so mundane. Gregory, at this theological seminary, let me tell you something. You'll find that if you go out and just do something good to somebody who can't do it back to you, it has something to do with diminishing your vexation. And you say, well, what if I do the wrong thing? Just try something. Halitosis is better than no breath at all. Just go do something. It's a good way to get away from being vexed. If you don't believe, go out and try it this afternoon. Don't pray about it and wait until you get a word. Just do something. Good. Then he said, dwell in the land. Well, another commonplace, doesn't it? But he's writing these Hebrews. They had legacies, patrimonies. That is the little patch of land they had full of rocks, belonged to their dad and granddad way back, maybe all the way back to the conquest. This had been their place. But you can imagine whoever's burned up in this psalm looking 3 patches over and saying, I know how Isaac is over there. And wanting more when he says, dwell in the land. One of the most famous sermons in American history was by the man who founded Temple University. He gave that sermon 6,152 times. It's been given away to millions of high school graduates, you know, acres of diamonds. He heard it from some Arabs, he said, somebody who sold their farm to go out and find riches somewhere else. I'm a little like this psalmist now. I've been young, now I'm old. I've watched folks a while. If you are vexed in Belton, you will be vexed in Boston. If you're vexed in Memphis, you will be vexed in Manhattan. Place really doesn't have much to do with it. Now the next thing he said is an elementary thing. He says, feed on truthfulness. It's kind of a mixed metaphor, isn't it? You can't go down here to H-E-B and say, I'd like 16 ounces of truth, please. It's like all metaphors, has a yes and a no in it. What are you consuming? It's no surprise that many of us are vexed because of what we're consuming. It's a group of musicians. I tell you about one of my favorite musicians in fiction. It's Septimius Hardy and Anthony Trollope's Warden and Barchester Taverns. Those are stories about Anglican clergy in the middle of the 19th century. but I can tell you I know every one of them today. 1982 was turned into a BBC series, still worth watching. Septimius Harding is a musician. He's a precentor in the cathedral, and he plays the cello. And in the novel, and also as Fallon's plays in the television dramatization, every time he starts to get vexed, and he has more things to vex him than I can tell you about, he starts to play an invisible cello. You read about it, you can say it's not huge like this, but he just starts to do this. I'm sure people must have wondered. But in playing that, something about the music that rolls over him soothes Septimius Harding. You look at the other clergy in it, they are a hot mess. Archdeacon Gantry wakes up mad about the church, goes to mad about the church. He is vexed as a way of life. Obadiah Slope is another kind of clergy. Scheming, narcissistic, oily, plotting, self-consumed. Bishop Proudie, the bishop of Barchester, is just a bumbling fool who doesn't know what to be. The only hero in it, it's all be good as music colors, is Septimius Harding, who found a way to do something else instead of being vexed. You really don't stop being vexed by telling yourself, don't be vexed. Take something else. You ever sat in a concert hall? I've been in some, anticipating the conductor coming out, the raised baton, the peal of the orchestra. But before it happens, after everybody stops coughing and it gets quiet for a few minutes, what do you hear? Maybe ambulances, sirens, screaming outside over the street. But then, when the conductor comes, that baton drops. Everything that vexed you has gone away. When the psalmist talks about living in vexing times, that's what he means. That's why he goes on and says, delight yourself in the Lord. It's actually not the Hebrew word delight, it's really the Hebrew word for enjoy yourself in the Lord. And he will give you what you wanted anyway, the desires of your heart. Those who look into Hebrew anthropology remind us that the heart for them wasn't like just Valentine's Day. It was the center, the core of who you are, your cognition, your thinking, your emotion, your pathos, your feeling, your volition, bending your will. What are you vexed about when you're vexed? It's something you're thinking about. It's something that makes you feel hot. Or it's something you just can't done even though you will to do it. Psalmist says, enjoy yourself in the Lord. And he'll give you the desires of your heart. You say, well, I don't know, Gregory, this sounds very preacherly going at these verbs. Well, you know what? Just consider the opposite of this. What if instead of trusting in the Lord, your whole life is driven with doubt? Doubt about people and what about instead of doing good, you get up every morning thinking about who you can get even with? What if instead of dwelling where you live and thinking, you know, if I could just get out to that big back on the edge of town, if I could just... What about dwelling where you are instead of wishing it were somewhere else? Faithfulness, faithfulness. What if you consume the toxicity that washes over our culture? Wake up in the morning, grab it and look at it, and keep up with who's mad at who right now. Delight yourself in the Lord. What if you just got mad at God? I was fishing one time on Lake Powell in the Arizona-Utah border, way out. It's just a huge lake. It came from flooding, something like the Grand Canyon. It rained on the rocks and steam came out of the rocks. I asked a fishing guy, what's that? He said, well, They just burn and you don't know until some rain falls. And then smoke comes out. It's like that when people are burning. God, why did you do that? No, if you're living the opposite of this, if I were your friend and sat down at a table with you with a cup of coffee and asked you, how's it working for you? Might not be all that good. You know, this section ends with a word that was learned by Jesus. We didn't read all that way, but it kind of closes out the first sentence. The meek shall inherit the earth. But on that hillside, he put his hand on Psalm 37:11. Put it right into the Beatitudes. Come to think of it, I thought about it. I've been thinking of it. When did he ever fret? Just can't remember.
A few closing remarks. First of all, I'd like to ask Dr. Todd Still to come and offer us a welcome from Truett Seminary. We are indeed very grateful to get to be a part of this wonderful facility.
Well, just a word of welcome. It's a delight every summer to host the Alleluia conference, and I know that you all come from all over the state, all over the nation, and I just want you to know how warmly welcome you are. We value, in fact treasure, our partnership with the Center for Church Music and Christian Music, School of Music. Dr. Gregory, thank you for your message. What would be really wonderful is if you could descend on our chapel about every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Let me point out something that's quite delightful. Sam Still, right there, is the son of Dr. Todd Still. And so, I know how wonderful it is to be a proud parent, so I wanted to make that wonderful connection. So thanks for indulging me there. A few things I'd like to mention. First of all, thanks for your registration this year. We're so delighted that you're here. Last summer, some of you recall that our registration was down, and I shared that with you, and you got to work and invited your friends, and our registration is back to where it was year before last. And we're delighted about that, and that puts us in a much better place. And I thank you for sharing this conference with your friends and being a part of this great event. Our registration is, paid registrants is about 265, which is quite good. So I wanted to share that because that's not what we've done, it's what you've done because you love this conference and you love this event. So I thank you for that. A few announcements this afternoon. There will be a student recital. Some of these students that you've seen and you've heard and seen helping you all over the place, they will be doing a recital. How many of you in this place have done an academic recital at some point in your life? Okay, I told you all that these people know what you do. They've lived that life and they know about all those things. So that's what we're doing, is giving them a chance to share some with you this afternoon. A reading session tonight is at 7:30. I hear that we're the only conference in the world that has a reading session with a full orchestra. And so that happens tonight at 7:30. So let me encourage you to be a part of that. And thank you for going out last night and being a part of the services around campus. Start to think about what will make this conference better. We really do cherish our evaluation. So start to think about that. And that's in your book, it's online, it's in all kinds of places, but take it seriously because we do. Also, let me send you to social media. In spite of our limits of social media, which we've been reminded of today. There are some very positive photos on the Alleluia website, the Alleluia Facebook page, and you might find yourself there. So like those, share what's happening good at Baylor this week in this place. And we will now hear the post.